Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. It's your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a hugely collectible, multiply discontinued confluence of FP Journe features, facets, and model lines. We are discussing the 38mm Platinum FP Journe Octa Calendrier, an annual calendar that features a 38mm case, brass caliber, Eleanor manufactured Parisian canister, and of course a model that was discontinued in 2014. There is a lot to love here. So 38mm by 10.3mm thick. You can see that the watch is 44.8mm lug to lug with a 20mm spacing between the lugs. The 38mm case size was discontinued after a send-off in 2015, so by virtue of its size alone, this is a discontinued Journe reference. On my 16cm circumference wrist, you can wear it quite easily, and I would recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13cm circumference. Make no mistake, this is an outstanding unisex option. Now, taking a quick look, I'll show you the cuff shot real quick. Easily sliding underneath the cuff, 10.3mm thick with a domed bezel. The strap, as you can see, is a navy blue, semi-gloss, large rectangular scale alligator leather. You can see it is an FP Journe factory strap with small round scale gator on the bottom. Gator on both sides is more expensive but more durable. That's why it's here. You have pull tab spring bars, so you can quickly remove the strap from the case without tools. And then you'll note that the spring bars are actually curved, so you can fold the strap straight down and drill the lugs relatively close to the case for a narrow pivot across the wrist and good fit without any impediment to the motion of the strap. That's what the curved spring bar gives you. Simple, no-nonsense, Journe fabricated matching platinum pin buckle, and the iconic Journe case look. You've got a mid-case. By the way, everything is in high polish, but you have a mid-case that's defined by the overlapping lip of the bezel as well as the case back. Integrated Calatrava-style lugs, but with much more of a downturn at their edges than you'll find on a Calatrava. There's a domed profile bezel, and of course you've got that double dimple knurled FP Journe crown at 3 o'clock. That by itself is a style signature. Now, the dial is a warm matte finish rose gold. You can see that there's a black polished steel bezel surrounding the hours, minutes, and seconds, fired blue steel hands for the time, and then you've got a retrograde date as well as apertures for the day and the month. And this is an annual calendar, so you need only correct it once a year during the jump from February to March. Now, there is a quick set system for the calendar. You can see how the retrograde works. You pull the crown out one step and then you turn counterclockwise and you can adjust the date. Turn in a clockwise direction and you can adjust the day. It's that simple. Rolling it all over, by the way, take note on the dial side, these polished bolts used to fix the dial to the movement. This is a style signature that FP Journe coined in the late 90s. It was panned at first and then later universally copied and celebrated. Such is the cost of being a pioneer. Roll it over and we see a pioneer of a different kind. This is the brass bridge and plate Octa 1300 in its first version. A lot changed between yesterday's Octa and today's Octa. A couple of things. One, you can't see, which is that these early models are bidirectional winding. After 2007, they became unidirectional winding. One that you can see, the bridges and plates are rhodium plated and made of brass. While this is, as a commodity, less valuable than the later rose gold bridges and plates, the fact is the rarity of the brass movements makes them more collectible and more valuable. You can also see that the movement features a rose lathe cut grand dorge or barley corn pattern on a 22-karat mass. That hasn't changed over the years. The movement beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It has an exceptionally large balance with a large polar moment and a large amount of inertia. It is free-sprung for durability and adjusted in a high horology and chronometer standard 5 positions. The watch has a chronometric power reserve of 120 hours, but in fact, if you let it run to the death, it will run for almost 7 days, 160 hours. If you take a quick look at the case itself, you can see it's stamped 03. That was the year the case was made. Journe stopped stamping the cases with their year of manufacture in roughly 2005, about mid-2005. You'll also note there are both French and Swiss hallmarks on this case, as you can see the maker's mark of Eleanor, which was a Parisian or Paris metropolitan case maker that Journe used from his pocket watch days through his wristwatch days right up to about mid-2008 when he bought the company and moved it to Geneva to create Boîtier de Genève, which is now his case factory, including many of the same Eleanor workers. But again, this is something that was discontinued about mid-2008. So on multiple levels, the manufacturer of the case, the size of the case, the model, which was discontinued in 2014, the brass movements, the stamp of year of manufacture on the case back, all of that is special and different. The watch is 30 meters water resistant, but with the timepiece this collectible, and this is increasingly considered vintage by FP Journe standards, you're not going to want to risk this one around the water anyway. You've got an elegant 48 for that, after all. Reach out to tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.